today because some students cannot join, then I won't teach. I just solve some questions. Then my goal for today is to solve 2 questions for spherical and cylindrical coordinate, and we will continue tomorrow. Okay, see, yesterday we were working on one example. We had this triple integral. We are in section 12.7. We had this triple integral. Okay, we had -5, 5. We had negative root 25 minus y square, 25 minus y square. We had root x squared plus y squared 9, and x z dz dx dy. Okay. Yesterday I explained about this example, and as I told you here, for this example, actually we have a solid. We can make this solid by, we have a cylinder, and we can make this solid by cutting a cone inside the solid. Let's see, you have a cone like this inside this cylinder, and if you cut this cone inside this cylinder, you get a solid that we want to integrate on this side. And this is z equals 0, z equals 9, and here we actually have a cone. Radius of cylinder, actually radius of the base of the cylinder is 5, and radius of the base of the cone is 3. Okay, so see, yesterday, as I told you, we want to integrate this. We want to evaluate this triple integral by using a spherical and cylindrical coordinate. Last night, I was thinking about this question, and it seems to me using cylindrical here is easier. Then I will find integral by using cylindrical. After that, by spherical, we will see that cylindrical is much easier. But intentionally, I will solve this example by using a spherical because I think it is good practice, and I can show you how we can identify the range over 5. So then first, let's start by cylindrical. So for cylindrical, you don't need to change anything for the third integral. Why? Because third integral, as I explained yesterday, is labeled by z, and in cylindrical, you have z, r, and theta. And this guy already is given. The only thing which must be done, you have to change x squared plus y squared into cylindrical coordinate. As we did before, x squared plus y squared is r squared. Then this guy is r. Then the third integral is r to 9. What about these 2 integrals? Sorry. One of them is r, another is theta. In order to find r and theta, we have to we have to consider the shadow of this solid on xy plane. As I explained yesterday, the shadow of this solid on xy plane is a circle. Equation of this circle is x squared plus y squared equal to 25. Here we have a circle centered at origin, and radius is 5. Okay, so then we have to identify r and theta by using this circle. As we did before, here r actually, the bound on r is 0, 5, and bound on theta is 0, 2 pi. 0 to pi. Okay. Okay. So we need Jacobian. Jacobian is r. What is x? If you convert x into cylindrical, this is r cos theta. This is r cos theta. And we don't need to change anything for z. Then we have dz, dr, d theta. Dr d theta. As if this is integral for theta, bounds are 0 to pi, integral for r, bound is 0.5, and integral for z, bounds are r and 9. So r times r is r squared, then this guy is r squared cos theta and z. R squared cos theta and z. So the function is separable, definitely. This is r, it has just r, it contains just theta, it contains just z. Is it possible to split this integral as the product of three simple integrals? No. Why not? Because bound on the third integral is not constant. Bound on the third integral has a variable r. Therefore, it cannot be split this integral as the product of three integrals. Okay, then we have to integrate as usual. I will integrate with respect to z, and let's do it. We have 0, 2 pi, 0, 5. I will integrate with respect to z. You have r squared cos theta, z squared over 2 r 9 dr d theta. Okay. Then we have 0, 2 pi, 0, 5, r squared cos theta. If you integrate z, you have z squared over 2 between 9 and r dr d theta. Okay, then let's continue here. Then we have 0, 2 pi. We have 0, 5. Then if I plug in 9 and r, you have r squared cos theta. I will plug in 9. Then you have 81 over 2 minus r squared cos theta times r squared over 2. Let's you just need to plug in 9. Then 9 squared is 81 over 2. Then you plug in r, you have r squared over 2. dr d theta. I'm sorry, yes, dr d theta. dr. Okay. So, see, you have 1/2, 1/2, then this 1/2 can be written outside. 0, 2 pi, 0, 5. Okay, so you can factor out cos theta. Then I will factor out cos theta. Okay, here we have 81 r squared. Here r squared times r squared is r to the 4 minus r to the 4 dr d theta. dr d theta. Then we have cos theta. This is 81 r squared minus r to the 4 dr d theta. Okay. So now we can ask the same question. Is it possible to split this integral as the product of two simple integrals? Yes. Why? Function is separable, contains r, contains theta. Bounds also are constant. Then you can split this question as the product of two integrals. Then you have 1/2 0, 2 pi cos theta d theta times 0, 5, 81 r squared minus r to the 4 dr. So let's see, these are two easy Cat 1 questions. Then again, let's not to find this integral first, then let's find this integral first. Some of you may know from Calc 1, this integral actually is 0. Let me call you why it is 0. If you find antiderivative of cos, antiderivative of cos is negative sine of theta. Negative sine of theta, outside you have 1/2, this is between 0 to pi. And we have 0, 5, 81 r squared minus r to the 4 dr. Okay? Then see, for this guy, negative sine of theta, if you plug in 2 pi and if you plug in 0, you get 0 because sine of 2 pi is 0, sine of 0 also is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Then this integral is 0. And without finding this antiderivative, we can say that the final answer also is 0. Any question? Any question? It was a beautiful question, isn't it? Any question? Any question? By using cylindrical coordinate, we could find this integral very easily. That was actually a very interesting example to show us what we will do. So we will continue to find this integral over a spherical coordinate. But I should warn you that a spherical coordinate is a little bit harder for this example. So, okay, any question? Any question? Okay, very good. So then let's see. We have triple integral. It was our question. Xz d. Okay, we had negative 5, 5, negative root 25 minus y squared, root 25 minus y squared, root x squared plus z squared 9, xz d z dx dy. Okay. So my goal is to convert this integral into a spherical coordinate. When you want to convert then a spherical, when you want to convert into a spherical coordinate, let's see, you have three integrals. The first integral is labeled by theta, this guy labeled by phi, this guy labeled by rho. Okay, so first I want to start finding range on phi. So Brandon, for the bounds for z, I think it was root e, root x. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thanks. Thank you. Sure. So see, I want to draw the solid again. It is all solid actually. See, you have a cylinder, and inside cylinder you cut a sphere. This is x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. So, what is phi? See, this is origin. We draw lines which passes through origin. Phi actually is the range of angle between these black lines and z-axis. Then one more time, phi here is the range of angle. Phi here is an angle between black lines and z-axis, because you can draw lots of black lines which belongs to this solid. Then you can have range for phi. You can say that phi is between lob and lob. So see, starting bound for phi is this red line, which is on the cone. Now, what is the angle between these? The angle here between z-axis and red line is pi over 4. How do I know that? Because yesterday I converted this cone into spherical coordinate. If you convert this sphere into a spherical coordinate, you have phi equal pi over 4. Then geometrically speaking, it means the angle between red line This red line actually in geometry is called the generator of this cone. And z-axis is pi over 4. Okay? Then lower bound is pi over 4. If you continue drawing, you can see that the last bound is this guy. Then what is the angle between black line and z-axis? Then the angle is 90 degrees. Therefore, this is pi over 2. Then bound for phi here is between pi over 4, pi over 2. Okay? So, finding bound for theta is easy. Why? Because what is the shadow of this solid on xy plane? The shadow of this solid on xy plane is this circle. And theta is the range of angle between this red line and x-axis. Again, as we did several times, this is 0 to pi. This is easy. Okay, and what about rho? When we want to find rho, then see rho will be a start from origin. Then here, upper bound is 0. What about lower bound? Then see, lower bound is the length of, the largest length of these black lines. The larger length of this black line actually happen when you are on the cylinder. Therefore, in order to find the upper bound for rho, we need to convert this cylinder into a spherical coordinate. What was the equation of cylinder? This is the equation of the cylinder. X squared plus y squared equal to 25. So this is the equation of a cylinder, x squared plus y squared equal to 25. We just need to convert this into cylindrical coordinate. Then listen to me very carefully. So when we want to convert into cylindrical coordinate, we know what is x in cylindrical coordinate, what is y in cylindrical coordinate. X in cylindrical coordinate is rho sine of phi cos of theta squared. Then see x, if you look at your note, yesterday we had this x in cylindrical coordinate, rho sine of phi cos of theta, plus, what about y? Rho. Okay, let me write this here. Rho sine of phi sine of theta squared equal to 20. Let's see, this guy is x, this guy is y. Okay. I wish I wrote this here. It's better. So then see, you have this cylinder x squared plus y squared equal 25. You are converting this cylinder into a spherical coordinate. Then you have rho sine of phi cos of theta squared plus rho sine of phi sine of theta squared equal to 25. Equal to 25. Okay, so then you have rho squared sine squared phi cos squared theta plus rho squared sine squared phi sine squared theta equal to 25. And here we have rho squared sine squared phi, rho squared sine squared phi in common. Then we can factor out. Then we have rho squared sine squared phi times cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equal to 25. And as you know from calc maybe this is 1. Then what is left? Let me erase these. Then we got rho squared sine squared phi equal to 25. And you can take a square root. Rho sine of phi equal 25. Then you can divide both sides by sine of phi. Rho equal to 25 over sine squared phi. Or in other words, 25 cosecant of phi. Then the upper bound here is 25 cosecant of phi. It's a little bit strange, I know, that's a strange question, and actually something that we did here is a little bit strange. So finding bound here is very interesting for phi and rho. For theta, actually, we have nothing. This is easy, exactly something that we did for cylindrical coordinate must be done here. But for finding rho, bounds over rho and bounds on phi, as you could see, you need to use actually other techniques. For phi, I think it was just an easy geometry, and here it is an easy trigonometry. So we use a trig formula and we do this. Any question? Any question? Okay, so so Mara, why isn't it 5c cosecant? Oh, yes, sorry about that. Yes. Sorry, thank you. Yes. Fine. Yes, my bad. Cosecant of phi. Yes, sorry about that, my bad. Yes, exactly, because we took a square root, then the square root of 25 is 5. So thank you, Mara. Then do you have to take this? Yes, exactly. Yes, brother. Same. So any other question? Any question? So then, see, this is the integral that we got. We got 0 to pi over 4, pi over 2, 0, 5 cosecant of phi. Okay. So we need Jacobian here. As I explained yesterday, Jacobian for cylindrical coordinate is rho squared sine of phi. We have x times z. What is x? X is rho sine of phi cos of theta. And what is z? Z is rho cos of phi. And this guy is x. This guy is z. Okay. By using formulas that we had yesterday. Okay, so then how many rows? We have 4 rows here. Then this is equal to 0 to pi over 4, pi over 2, 0, 5 cosecant of phi. Then you have rho to the power of 4 and sine squared phi cos of phi cos theta d rho d phi d theta. D rho d phi d theta. This is rho sine of phi is 5. Rho is 5 cosecant of phi. Okay, again, we can ask the same question. Is it possible to write this integral as the product of three integrals? Because the function is separable, because you have rho, phi, theta. But it cannot be written, this integral, as the product of three integrals. Why not? Because this bound is not constant. In C5 cosecant of phi is a function in terms of phi, and phi here is a variable. Then this is not constant, and it cannot be written as the product of three simple integrals. You have to integrate with respect to rho, and after that with respect to phi, and with respect to theta. I think it is easy to find an answer. Again, if you evaluate this integral, you get 0. So it was a nice question, a little bit tricky question, especially for finding phi and finding the range of phi and range of rho. Theta was easy. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Question? Okay, so okay, then let's okay, let me solve a little bit easier example, and maybe the last question, but let's see. Okay. And example. Evaluate this integral. We have integral on e x squared plus y squared dv. E lies between the spheres x squared plus y squared plus z squared equal 4, x squared plus y squared plus z squared equal 9. So evaluate this integral. You have a triple integral here. We are integrating on solid. This solid is denoted by E, and the solid is between two spheres. One of them is a sphere centered at origin radius 2, another sphere centered at origin radius is 3. Then here we actually have two spheres, then one sphere like this and another sphere like this. Then radius of this one is 2, radius of bigger one is 3. And the solid is space between these two spheres. Here, okay, we want to integrate this function, and see, the first thing that we must I must explain is why here a spherical coordinate is a nice technique. Because if you are integrating on a sphere, when you convert this sphere into a spherical coordinate, as I explained yesterday, you get a nice equation. And see, if you convert this into a spherical coordinate, you get rho equal to. If you convert this into a spherical coordinate, you have rho equal to. That's very beautiful, tiny equations. Rho equal to, rho equal to. So then bounds here for rho is clear. Bound for rho is between 20. Very easy. Okay. So let me erase this and find this integral. This is equal to, okay, again, this is equal to, this guy is theta, phi, rho. Bound on rho based on something that we have here is clear, because you know that your solid is a space between these two. Then bound on rho is 2, 3. Very easy. What about bound on phi? Then see, because, okay, let me recall you, what was the range of phi? Phi is between 0 and pi, okay? Here we have no restriction on phi. The only restriction that we have is on rho. I want to explain more about this word. What does it mean when I'm saying that we have no restriction on phi? Restriction means something like this. For example, if we had this solid will be considered in, for example, first octant. It means x, z, and y are positive. You see, it is a restriction. Then the impact of this restriction usually can be seen on phi and theta. But here you have no restriction on phi and no restriction on theta. Then phi and theta have no restriction. When then they have no restriction, then their bound will be between 0 pi and theta 0 2 pi. We have actually nothing to change here. So then bound for phi is 0 pi, no restriction, and bound for theta also is 0 2 pi, we have no restriction. So okay, then we need Jacobian. Jacobian is rho squared sine of phi. We need to convert this guy x squared plus y squared into a spherical coordinate. Actually, we did this for the previous example, but I would like to do again because I think it is a good exercise. Then let me do it here. And see, you have x squared plus y squared. I want to convert x squared plus y squared into a spherical coordinate. Then what is x? Rho. Rho sine of phi cos of theta. This is x. What is y? Y is rho sine of phi sine of theta squared. Then you have equal to rho squared sine squared phi cos squared theta plus rho squared sine squared phi sine squared theta. I see you have rho squared sine squared phi, rho squared sine squared phi in common, then you can factor out. See exactly something that we did for the previous question. Sine squared phi times cos squared theta plus sine squared theta. And cos squared theta plus sine squared theta is 1. And 1 times everything is itself, then this is rho squared sine squared. Any question? We did the same thing for the previous question, but it is good exercise to see one more time and see. It can be done by using basic trigonometry. So then x squared y squared is rho squared sine squared phi. And we have d rho d phi d theta. D rho d phi d theta. Any question, please? Any question? So then we have integral 0 to pi, integral 0 pi, integral 2 to 3. How many rows? 4. Rho to the power of 4 sine cubed phi d rho d phi d theta. D rho d phi d theta. Okay, is it possible to write this integral as the product of 3 integrals? Yes, because all bounds are constant and the given function also is separable. It contains just rho, it contains just phi, and we have no theta. No theta means d theta. Okay, so then, okay, any question? Any question? So, okay, then let's continue. We have 0 2 pi, 0 pi, 2 3, rho to the 4 sine cubed phi, d rho d phi d theta, d rho d phi d theta. So it can be written as the product of 3 integral. We have 0 to 2 pi d theta times 0 pi sine cubed phi d phi times 2 3 rho to the 4 d rho. Okay. I think it is very easy. This is 2 pi as we have done before, and this is an easy Calc1 question. This is an easy Calc2 question. So then this guy, as all of you know, is 2 pi. But this guy you can find antiderivative. Antiderivative here is rho to the 5. Antiderivative is rho to the 5 over 5 2 to 3. What about here? For this one, I need to recall you one technique from Calc2. It is good exercise actually. We have 2 pi, 0 pi. In Calc2, we were told when you want to integrate trigonometric functions with an odd power, we will write sine cubed as sine of phi times sine squared of phi, d phi. And here we can plug in 3 and 2. Then you have 3 to the power of 5 over 5 minus 2 to the power of 5 over 5. So in Calc2, we had this technique. When you write sine cubed as sine times sine squared, all of you know from pre-calc that sine squared also can be written as 1 minus cos squared. 1 minus cos squared phi. Then I have sine phi times 1 minus cos squared phi d phi. And you can distribute sine of phi, which is something that we will do. Any question up to now? I'm just recalling you some techniques from Calc2 actually. Any question? Okay, so then let me continue here. We have 2 pi integral 0 pi. Then if you distribute, you have sine of phi minus sine of phi cos squared phi d phi. And for this guy, let me see. 3 to the power of 5 is 81 times 3. 243 over 5 minus 32 over 5. So now we are ready to integrate this function. This is 2 pi. Then see, antiderivative of sine of phi, as all of you know, is minus cos of phi. And for this one, as we have seen in Calc2, if you use substitution technique and if you define u as cos of phi and you integrate, this is plus cos cubed phi over 3. This is between 0 pi, and for this guy, denominator is 5, then this is 2, 1, 1. So we will plug in pi, we will plug in 0 and subtract, then this is 2 pi, then minus cos of pi plus cos cubed of pi over 3 minus negative cos of 0 plus cos cubed of 0 over 3 times 211 over 5. Then see, this guy is 1, this guy is negative 1/3. This guy is negative 1, this is plus 1/3. Then 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3 times 2. Then final answer is 2 pi times 4/3 times 211 over 5. So hashed means that 1688 over 15 pi. Any question? Any question? Any comment? Any question? That was actually a very interesting question, very nice, interesting question. And let's see, any question? So we have around 10 minutes. I would like to solve one more example. It's a good also practice. We cannot finish this example today. We will finish this example tomorrow. Then, okay. Okay. Let's solve this example tomorrow that everybody is in the class. So, okay. Yes, yes, we will solve this example tomorrow. This is very nice, actually, volume. See, more or less, we are at the end of section 12.7. I decided to have test number 3 on next Friday, April 17. I will announce this also tomorrow. Then we have test 3 on Friday, April 17, chapter 11, 11.8, and all sections of chapter 12, 12.1 to 12.8. Then, so I will announce this tomorrow again, and also I will post an announcement on Sakai. So then tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Friday, April 17, we have test number 3. This is from chapter 11 and chapter 12, all sections. Then let's see. Then everything about this test will be same as something that we did for previous test. Okay.